All right, well, we're back to discuss The Gift, and if you watched our review, we did our best to talk about it without spoilers. It's not an easy movie to talk about without spoilers, but we recommended it. So many different twists and turns in the movie, and all of it felt genuine. All of it was solidly acted, solidly paid off. You have... in the final analysis, it's really, you really just have to, the question that I think is left in your head, even more so than did he or didn't he, is the question of, throughout the movie, was Gordo on a plot of revenge, or was he on a plot of...
to be heard.
Just
or
forgiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a way of interpreting the movie that is absolutely everything that happened is Jason Bateman's fault.
So the movie
100% of what happened is Jason Bateman's fault.
Yeah, cause and effect. Do you remember earlier on, like, he's giving them all these gifts, and the movie's called The Gift, but do you remember during conversation he says something about it, the best gift being, like, bad things that, like, turn out for good?
And there's a way to interpret that means that his life is better now for what Jason Bateman did to him.
Right.
Right. That's one way of interpreting it.
Right.
The other way of interpreting it is... Right. The other way of interpreting it is he owes him something. Mm-hmm. He owes him a bad thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Revenge.
And the literal thing where he keeps giving him gifts plays into the... I mean, it makes the audience suspect that something's wrong with that character. And they need to watch out for him.
The only thing that could have been a little bit better is at the end when Jason Bateman's looking at the video and you know that his wife passed out in an earlier scene, and that's when it shows Gordo come in standing over her on the bed, and did he or didn't he? That happened after he had the come to Jesus talk with Gordo. So Gordo did pop back in every now and again, even though he had disappeared and was seemingly gone from their life.
After he had come to Jesus talk with him?
The one where he's like, you need to stay away from us, where Gordo was in that other couple's house.
Yeah.
It took place after that, so that Gordo was still there, so it kind of lends credence into the fact that he had this plot all cooked up in his head. But then again, it happened after that speech.
He also left him completely alone.
Yeah.
And then Jason Bateman confronted him after the trivia thing.
Yeah. It happened after that speech, so up until that speech, it very well could have been that he was on an idea for forgiveness. So, I mean, there's just a bunch of different things that, okay, well, is he bad? Is he good? It was very interesting, and my favorite thing about Act 2 was they built tension so much up to that point that when Gordo disappears from the movie for, probably a good 30, 40 minutes.
It still feels like he's omnipresent.
Yeah, it's like he's in every single scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was just a fantastic feeling, because each scene you're just like, oh my God, Gordo's going to make an appearance here.
Well, he's gone for the entire pregnancy, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They do a bunch of time-lapse stuff, and when the competition guy shows up and breaks the window is when she goes into labor. Mm-hmm. And the first time that we see Gordo is after she's in the hospital.
Which was a great twist. Having the guy that's... like, that he gathered information on this guy from an earlier scene, but you never really know what's going on.
That's what I mean about the two interpretations, is how much of what happened is Jason Bateman's own doing. How much did he bring upon himself by sabotaging other people, and how much of it was actual revenge from other people?
Yeah.
Because, like, the guy breaking the window, like, that wasn't a plan. That wasn't a plot. That was
Just anger.
just anger.
Yeah.
He just showed up and broke the window, and like while they were celebrating the promotion, and because he didn't he faltered in that one moment to not say, I don't know what this guy's talking about, and, we're gonna report to the police or whatever. He ends up losing the job. Like, they check into it and figure out that this guy's telling the truth.
And the interesting thing is everything up to that point pointed to him probably getting the job anyway. So just everything he does is very aggressive.
Right.
And it's causing all kinds of issues. And oh gosh, it was just such a good movie.
Yeah,
on
he's
several levels.
He's
yeah.
still a bully. He's just a bully in a suit now.
Yeah.
So there's a big human side to the story, a lot of soul searching kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good, the kind of balance between the Jason Bateman's character and Rebecca Hall, his wife.
Mm-hmm.
She was very human, almost very innocent, questioning his motives and questioning what's right, what's wrong.
Yeah,
she played a real good role of
she's the audience surrogate.
Yeah, exactly. Questioning who should we be rooting for here? What is right? What is wrong? You know?
Yeah, and that role was really well written and really well done. Because, like I said,
it felt fully fleshed out for a movie.
Yeah, a lot of times in a movie like this, they will just have way too much fun with scaring the wife or playing with the idea that maybe the wife's crazy or maybe
they dabbled with that.
Well, they had that whole drug subplot thing, and that was just enough to make you question her a little bit. But we know how much drugs she's really taking. We see all of those things, so we know we can kind of trust her. And it's more to just put it in a situation where he can sort of bat at her with it, and be like, well, if you're mixing a bunch of stuff, you don't know what you're looking at,
And that
he
scene,
suggests to her that
scene was awesome because he was almost bullying her.
He suggests to her that she's being paranoid.
Yeah.
And she's not. There's all this other stuff she doesn't know about.
Yeah.
It's also one scene that was really poignant is Jason Bateman's when he first tells her that the Gordo conversation is off the books. He's completely delusional. Time heals everything.
Because he wants it to.
Yeah,
he wants it to go away.
He didn't.
No accountability.
He never takes any bit of accountability for his actions in the past.
Well,
it's
that was a big part of what the movie was about,
happen.
Right?
It's like they didn't even happen, and that scene pretty much seals it that he is what he is, and he's never going to change. And I thought that was
without an
really
intervention.
well done. How the scenes that were playing out were kind of every day is exactly the same, and he's basically saying, I'm going to be the same forever.
Yeah. Well, and the guy that he cheats out of the job, I just happened to notice he was in that party at the beginning where they all went to the office and she saw his office for the first time.
Yeah.
Right at the very beginning of that scene, he's standing there with his wife and he says something kind of insulting to her, jokingly, but in front of all the other people. I forget what he even says. Something like that. And his wife takes him aside and is scolding him, and the camera moves off of them. But he was there for a second.
There.
Yeah, his boss pulls him away. He's like, I got to introduce you to these people, and then you never think about him again up until that scene. And it also clues you in as to how self-absorbed Jason Bateman is, because he looks at him like, who is this guy?
Right.
You met him.
So this is going to be a good rewatch.
You ruined
movie.
his life.
Yeah.
And you don't even remember what he looks like.
Right.
Yeah.
He had this whole dossier on him, and he's like, who?
Yeah. This would be a good movie to rewatch.
Unless he's, at that point, he's faking it. but it didn't seem like it in the scene.
Yeah.
It seemed like he was actually confused. I think he was actually like confused because he expected it to be Gordo.
Well, when he first tackles him, he's like, Gordo, Gordo.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, gosh. Like, I enjoyed every second of that.
It's a good movie.
Yep, definitely.
Go watch it, people.
Check it out. Well, that's it for us and Gordo, The Gift. If you like when we do these, please like the review, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.